Packing up my bags, time to hit the road. Left my hometown where the memories grow, saying goodbye to the fields of green.
In the intersection of the Donna Mall called the Serial Line, which ran up present-day Cordova Street to the Sunose, intersecting at this intersection. And along these walls, they built canopy down, burned completely to the ground. The museum on the inside of the Free Visitor Center has clean restrooms, you can buy refreshments, they have a lot of artifacts, and in those cold days, they have nice heat on the inside. The American Revolution protesting. They set up a table here and they dressed up in funeral clothes. They served tea and trumpets. I think it's like a little cookie, little sweet treat. And actually saved the city gates. Y'all see that? That's the oldest wooden schoolhouse. It's a low-cost attraction. It's pretty amazing, actually. And they wrapped that chain around it, baby, in the city in 1934 to help hold it down during the hurricane. Killed 60 colonials, left them laying in the streets. After that attack, the Queen of Spain sent the money and engineering here to build that fort. Artifacts on the inside. There's only 3 known battle flags left in the entire world that's actually authentic and used by pirates. They actually have one there on display. It's worth the price of admission just to see it. All right, we'll be stopping here in the street. If you want to exit here, it's great. We'll be there in about 1 hour. Just jump right on board. We'll be good. You guys gonna mention some restaurants. I mentioned. Here on the right is one of my favorites. It's the River Fort. Great food, great service. They also have a nightlife in St. Augustine in particular. They wanted to face east as the colony grew. They built streets that would dictate that the streets run east and west. Really good. That's a good place to go. The Spanish window is a very Victor. Glad to have you. There's no smoking, vaping, consumption of alcoholic beverages, keep body parts and personal belongings inside the trolley at all times. The garden here on the right at the Columbia restaurant, by the way, that's a great Spanish style restaurant. On the left, we have a more of a traditional way. You go through the garden gate, you go through the small garden, then you enter the building. That is a Spanish style influence. Now I'm going to take you back in time again. I'm going to take you back to 7th granted a huge tract of land here in the New World to start a plantation. They came here to the New World. Father Pedro Camps, the religious leader of the Norcans at the time, came to the British and told them why European colony in America. Just that little wrinkle of history. Now we're entering the Gilded Castillo. Had his eyes set on a piece of ground to build another resort. In the way was a church. So he approaches the congregation. He makes beautiful architecture. It cost him $84,000. He received a deed for a piece of ground in an old building worth only $4,000. And I'm going to show you that piece of ground shortly, and you make up your own mind because this is wealthiest man in the entire world. He built this church of a tragedy, and my heart goes out to Henry Flagler. I'm a father. She is in labor. She had complications. Eventually gave birth to a little girl named Marjorie. Little Marjorie survived about 2 hours and she passed. Jeannie was still suffering from complications from childbirth, but she wanted to see her Jeannie pass away. In his heartbreak, in his grief, he told his architects, Carrera and Hastings, that he wanted a church built. Time to have a 1-year memorial service for his daughter and granddaughter. This church, as you see it on the right, was constructed in 361-foot copper top dome. A 15-foot Greek cross on top of that. Has the 3rd largest pipe organ in the entire country. Built in Venetian Renaissance style. Henry Flagler's first wife Mary, whom he loved dearly. Venetian Renaissance style, very beautiful architecture. Then after I make my turn, if you look back behind you over your left shoulder, you'll be able to see the skyline a little bit better. Very beautiful skyline. Recently voted as one of the most beautiful campuses in the entire world. And this building here, where the smokestack comes down to, was the generator building, now known as the Molly Wiley Art Building. Alva Edison. Those generators provided hot water for the resort, cold water for the resort, a new technology called electricity. It was so new in fact that his guests were terrified to turn the lights off the entire season. That season was from Christmas to Easter. Now you know your dime know how much that cost. I dicker with them at the Motel 6 when I stay there. And the rotunda we see to the right, the special rotunda. That was the grand ballroom for Henry Flagler's guests. He can entertain up to 600 guests at a time for that rotunda. That is currently the dining hall for the largest, most comprehensive collection of Lewis Comfort Tiffany glass in the entire world, still in the original location. The value is at $130 million just for glass. I'm curious how many of those students had their burgers and fries on night realized the construction of this hotel, he wanted his guests to feel safe from fire, so he and his architects designed it to be red brick and Spanish tile. Then he changed his mind. His friend across the street, Mr. Franklin Smith, had just built a Villa Zareta, adopted it to the construction industry in Ponce de Leon. That's the reason to have a Ford cement coquina with inlaid red brick, a very unique and very beautiful building. There's the statue of Mr. Henry Flagler on my right. That's his third location. Mr. Franklin Smith built a Villa Zareta in a Alhambra style for his family. It's a summertime home castle for his family. Beautiful building. Ceramic, dish wire, pottery, lampshades. You'll see portraits, pictures. This church, its first location. Here on my right, where Green Fountain was. As Henry Flagler started construction of Great Alcazar, his guests across the street, they were wealthy and they complained a lot, as he found out. So Henry Flagler remains in Auville, Spain, our sister city, gifted us by Auville, Spain, to celebrate the 400th anniversary of the founding of St. Augustine. All those pavers, and when we came across Hippolyta Street to Middletown earlier, those red. Now I'm going to take you back in time. I'm going to take you back to 1885. Henry Flagler. Just bad timing, that's all I guess, because I don't think Henry Flagler would do that. This is the governor's house here on my left. There's several governor's homes, as well as the city, been destroyed many times. Facing Constitution Plaza, named for that monument here to the middle and to the left of near the plaza. That's Constitution of the Spanish Constitution and the monument placed in their plazas. They all complied. A new monarchy came except for this one. St. Augustine refused to destroy it. That's the last remaining monument with a copy of the old Constitution that left the entire world. All the cannon you see in the plaza and around town are authentic cannon. You'd like to know why, I guess, right? He's a Spanish nobleman. They measure a Spanish nobleman from the heel of their boot to the tip of the feather in their hat. That makes him 5 feet 8. This is the Cathedral Basilica. So exit only to my right. Only to my right. We have traffic on my left. Only to my right. Let me ring my bell. Again, my name is Victor. Hope you enjoyed your tour to this point. Inspections or anything else on the floor soldiers needed. And on my right, we have the first location for Potter's Wax Museum. At the time it was here, it's considered the largest wax museum in the entire world. The livestock with it, which was important because it took the source away from Colonel Moore. And escaped to the fort. Colonel Moore set up cannon on Anastasia Island and around the fort and fired cannon at it for 50 days. At the end of 50 days, he had to leave in a hurry. I'll tell you why shortly. With the building, bush, every fence was completely destroyed. This is the first house we built, the oldest house. Body off. Be careful as you back down. It's a little bit of a slope there. A little bit as you back down. Made of coquina. You've heard me speak about it many times. You'll get an up-close look at it. At least until you visit the fort. You see the thousands of little bitty seashells. That's where you get this name. Coquina is a Spanish. This is a traditional way you enter a Spanish home. You go through a garden gate, through the garden, then enter the home. I usually take on the Sunday morning. That could be a pay-per-view. I think to see them get registered. But he's here until 1941. He passed away and it was acquired by Norton Baskins. It was a whole traveling show at the time. He didn't have our most famous books. It was called The Yearling. If anybody recalls it. Trolley stop number 18. On my left, I tell everybody that's the first tiny home. I don't know if it is or not, but I like saying that because that's a redwood log, has 4 rooms carved out of it. 19, this is our visitor center. If you need to take a break from the trolley, I know those seats are really comfortable, but sometimes they just don't really settle good. So if you need to take a break, they have clean restrooms on the inside here. They also have a ticket booth. If you're looking to go to some attractions around town, they have some. What else off going on? The tree. You go down Cordova Street in front of the Cheesecake Company. You need to go there anyway. Treat yourself some cheesecake and a coffee. There's a tree in their yard. It's a massive oak tree, completely wrapped around a palm tree, and they're very rare. So if you go by there, make sure you take a picture of it. There's something special about Magnolia Avenue. Y'all see it?
Yeah.
Once you see it, you can't forget it. I got one for you. You know what you call a bunch of baboons? You get a bunch of baboons together? It's called a Congress.
Yeah, yeah. You got 5 of them.
The Southern Barbecue Style Food Court. I've been told it's excellent. I haven't had a chance to dine here yet, but I am going to the LO Barbecue. Call it number 22.